All right, guys, happy Wednesday, June 5th, coming to you full of energy and feeling super accomplished as a father this morning. I had to get two kids ready, one for camp, one for school, two separate lunches, did a ponytail, put a little bit of hairspray in it so she didn't have the flyaways, got Silas ready, did his hair, just feeling super accomplished this morning and was able to be here, be present, be ready for our meeting today. So super stoked, feeling super excited. And as always, you guys, I'm going to introduce some of our guests on the line today. I want to say thank you for being here. I see some of their names. And Erica, you want to say what's up to everybody? Thanks for being here. Thanks for being on.
Hey guys, glad
Hi,
to be
Erica.
here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. If I could go over to Blessing really quick. Blessing, what's one thing that she can expect from this group?
You can always expect honesty and authenticity, and there's no excuses. And if you have them, bring them, and we will massage them out gently with a lot of love. But show up honestly with your camera on and ready to go, and you will get the most out of this group.
Okay, I look forward to that. Thank you guys.
We will gently massage your excuses out of this call. I love that. Thank you. I've never heard it said like that, articulated so beautifully. And let's go over to Naj really quick. Good morning to you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being present. And welcome to you as well if you'd like to say a quick hello. Going once, going twice. All right, cool. We'll move on. If you can find that mute button later on, find that mute button. And Darnell, if you could say, Naj, there's one thing that you can expect from today's call. What's one thing that she can expect?
You can expect massive amount of energy. So if you have any plans or any goals or any thoughts that you may have been holding back or procrastinating on, you'll definitely get all the ammo that you need from this call.
Awesome. And bro, how's baby girl doing?
She's amazing. She's fussy. She's learning how to bully us every day. She's getting better at it. She's crying, working on them lungs, but she's amazing. She's perfect, man.
I love it. I love it. Congratulations once again to you. So Naj, there you are. You want to say a quick hello to everybody?
Yes, hello everyone. Good morning. Sorry, I'm new to my new devices, so that's why I was a little confused. I'm so happy to meet you all. Hope one day we can meet in person, but I'm also so excited to start the business. I'm so hungry to grow, and I really want to pick a team that I can feel comfortable to share my doubt, to learn, and to grow. Yeah, so happy to be here.
I love it. I love it. Well, thanks for being here, and thanks to everyone else that's always here. I want to send a shout out to Michael Swanson, and I just want to say, bro, hopefully your face is okay. I know that baby powder can really, really land a good smack on the face, bro. So how you doing? How you feeling?
Bro, I'm telling you, so I went to the gym. I've had that idea for like a week now, and I was gonna do it just like without the baby powder and sometimes. So I was at the gym yesterday, and I got to drive past Walmart when I leave the gym to come home, and I said, you know what? Let me stop at Walmart and grab some baby powder and add that to the real little bit, make it little theatrics to it. So it was good.
Well, it's good stuff, man. It is great theatrics, and it's funny, and I liked it, and it was engaging. Obviously, there's tons of content out there. That was one that I remember just from yesterday. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, take a look at it. Kuhn did one like that. He was getting punched in the face. I see people doing the water buckets in the face, all kinds of cool stuff that's trending. So shout out to you, Michael. I see the visibility. Darnell, saw your video the other day. I don't know how much traction it's gotten, but I saw it on multiple people's stories. So great job, you guys. Great job showing up, being yourself, doing something different, doing something that was fun. So I really liked it. I like the white picket fence. Well, it really doesn't have a white picket fence, but this is what you get. I like that, man. It was real. It was cool. It was fun. So great job to you guys and everyone else that's out there creating content consistently. And let's get right into the conversation for today. So Jeff, I would love to start out with you. Ashley, she said she wasn't feeling well today, and she sent me a couple things that in layman's terms, I didn't understand too much. It was like a jolt report and all kinds of other reports. But if you could just give us a quick high-level view of what you guys are experiencing. I have some really good articles that I want to share with you guys. And then I'm going to put your feet to the fire in just a few minutes. So be ready. Oh, funny how the cameras go off when I say that the feet to the fire. No, I'm just kidding. But Jeff, if you could kind of start us off, what you're seeing, the sentiment, your thoughts around the market right now, conditions, patterns, and so on and so forth, and hit us with some knowledge like you usually do, my man. So I'll pass the mic over to you to start us off.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Good to be here. Good to see all of you. Great day. I don't like to talk about the weather, but trying to stay cool out here in Brentwood. Whew. Yeah. So house is all closed up. Every window and blind in the house is closed up. So, but yeah, it's interesting. We've over the last couple years, I know it's been a long time, but they talked about a soft landing and seeing inflation come down, seeing the economy start to pull back but not crash or go into a recession. And I think we're finally starting to see that. It's not to say that we're going to avoid a recession, but if you've seen the numbers recently, seen some of the inflation reports, this week is a big week. Today was a big day, actually, from a jobs perspective. And that's what we've seen over the last couple of months is the jobs numbers starting to pull back. Not pull back in a way that is negative. We haven't seen a negative jobs report yet. Maybe at some point we will, but they're coming in below expectations. Inflation is kind of holding steady, pulling back a little bit. So it's just opening that window for the Fed to potentially lower rates at some point in 2024. A couple of months ago, a lot of the analysts thought maybe Fed rate cut was off the table for 2024, but they kind of crept back in. Today, on Wednesdays, on the beginning of every month, the jobs reports come out. And it's typically the first Friday of the month, it is a BLS report. And the Wednesday before that, so today, the ADP report comes out. So ADP is more of a private payroll, doesn't look at government jobs and things. And the ADP report came in below expectations, still positive. I don't know the number right off the top of my head. I think it was around 130 or 140,000. The JOLTS report that Ashley referenced, when talking to you, Elias, or sending you some information, that's the jobs openings. I don't know exactly. JOLTS is an acronym, but basically the number of job openings that are out there. That number decreased, so there's fewer job openings. We added fewer people to the private payrolls. And then, of course, we have the big BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I think coming out on Friday, which is the government report, and a lot hinges on that. So it's been a good run this last week with the expectations from a standpoint of the jobs. Inflation kind of leveling off. It's certainly not going down at the levels we saw it, but it's not going up. So I think overall in the market there is a positive sense of that we're moving in the right direction. We'll see what happens on Friday with the jobs report, but we've all of you have gotten to the point where, look, we just got to, we keep doing our thing, keep our head down, keep getting out there. The inventory seems to be growing a little bit, and rates kind of, it's cliche, but the rates are what they are at this point. And we all have the ammunition to sell when rates are going up, when rates are starting to soften. But overall, I think we're on a little bit of a downward plane, and nothing moves in a straight line. So we'll have some up days and down days, but it's I would be I am optimistic. Now I'm optimistic to a fault, I think, in a lot of cases, but optimistic about the direction that we're going in, and the direction of the jobs report, the inflation reports that are coming out. And we'll see even more of that, have more context around it come Friday after the jobs report comes out.
Beautiful. I love it, man. And I always appreciate you guys' contributions, your insights. You guys, while we have Jeff and our lender partners on the call, do you guys have any questions, anything that you're curious about in regards to, maybe strategies, what they're seeing in offers? Maybe there's a number that you want to know about how many pre-approvals they've received in the last couple of months. Is there anything that you feel that you can ask Jeff or our lender partners right now on the call that will give you even more clarity, even more confidence when communicating with your consumers? Does anybody have a question? Because use this opportunity. Jeff and the Money Store is a wealth of information. Anybody have any clarifying questions or need additional information for confidence? Anybody? Going once. All right, cool. So let's go, Rick. Rick, what's your contribution, big dog? Let's hear from you.
Hey, so question about what you were saying, Elias, for the lending piece. Feel free, anybody, but are there any good grants for first-time home buyers or anything like that that can be applied that would give first-time home buyers a leg up, at least in having some extra money to put down?
Yes, absolutely. And I don't think she's on the call. I don't see her on the participants, but I know Christina's on the call. Maybe Christina can jump in. But there are, who I was looking for on the call is Stephanie Seha. Stephanie is a loan officer in our Brentwood office. And honestly, she knows every grant program that is available. She knows when they have money, when they run out of money. There's one I just, I could probably even pull it up here quickly in my email that she was just talking about. And they just were replenished in terms of their funds. So yeah, there are lots of grants and programs out there. Sometimes it depends on the municipality that you're in, the city, the county. There's statewide grants, but let me see if I can. Yeah, there's a middle income down payment assistance grant. I'm trying to see who this one is through just real quick.
And Rick, and while you're pulling that up, Jeff, here's what I'd recommend Rick do, as well as all of everyone else on the call, excuse me. What I would do is I would create a high note presentation, and in that high note presentation is a list of all of the applicable grants in the Bay Area, census tract grants, down payment assistance programs, and I would categorize those into a high note. And I would give a brief description. If the home is in this, or if you make this amount of income, this is a program for you. And then just create that list for people. Maybe it's 5, maybe it's not too overwhelming, but create a high note. And the way that you do that, Rick, is that you just communicate with lenders like the Money Store, other lender partners that we have in our industry, and say, hey, what are the best programs out there right now that are going to help first-time home buyers, and compile a list. And then when you're doing videos and when you're putting in your newsletter, hey, if you'd like the list of all the down payment assistance programs, DM me. I'd love to hook you up with that list. I've compiled a list for first-time home buyers. So it allows people a reason to want to contact you because you've compiled a list so they don't have to go to multiple places to find it. So Jeff, if you have something to share, go ahead.
Yeah, can you
let me give you share screen rights. Boom, bam, you're in.
All right, cool. And again, I am not the expert on this, so I'm not the one to ask necessarily questions about it, but this is exactly the grant program that Stephanie was investigating. She does a lot of due diligence, vetting the programs to make sure that they're workable with a mortgage bank like the Money Store. But you can use them with just about anybody. It might be hard to use them with more of a Wall Street bank because they're pretty inflexible. But here's one right now from the middle income down payment assistance grants. They do have some program webinars coming up, actually one today and then one in a week. And as long as the home buyer contributes a minimum of $10,000 towards the down payment of their own funds, they may qualify for a grant of up to $50,000. So again, there's certain qualifications that need to be met. It's not a guarantee that everybody gets it. The money goes quick, all those types of things. But yes, reach out, to any of us, and we'll get you either connected with a loan officer that can go deeper. We'll connect you with Stephanie because again, she has a wealth of knowledge. But everybody, Ashley, Christina, Vivian, Marcelina, can all get you information about different grants that are out there because they will look for every dime. I mean, out here in Brentwood, we have the Delta Association of Realtors has a $5,000 grant, and a lot of people are like, $5,000. $5,000. I mean, honestly, that'll, in a lot of cases pay for your closing costs or a big chunk of your closing costs. So, yeah, don't, look under every rock and ask your loan officer, be it a Money Store loan officer or whoever you work with, about what grants are available out there because they are there.
I love it. And Rick, I just put Stephanie's Instagram handle in the chat down below. Highly recommend that you set up a time to chat with her.
Cool. Thanks, everybody.
All right, you got it, brother. And here's the thing, you guys, we have to think about the new era when we walk into August, having buyers pay for our compensation. Well, if you can leverage this down payment assistance programs or leverage grants that says, you know what, I wasn't able to negotiate that from the seller, say it's $5,000. However, there's this program that you qualify for that now will pay for your down payment. Now you have the money to pay my compensation as well as have the money for your down payment. So I think that this is the time where we get very creative and we become students of how to leverage that, because when the conversation about compensation comes up, do we have another avenue for them to offset the compensation that they're going to have to pay us if we're not able to negotiate that from the seller side? So this is our opportunity to get very, very creative in how we're finding these programs, what programs are out there. And so you guys still have time. So this is the time where you should be compiling the information, finding the information, and seeing what works best for consumers in certain census tracts in certain parts of the Bay Area. So really good stuff, Jeff. Any other questions before we move forward? Anybody have a contribution, a thought, insight? Going once, go twice. All right, Stephanie's email as well as Instagram is down below. I got a couple things queued up that I want to share with you guys. And the first question, I think it's just a general question for everybody. And feel free to answer in the chat or just take yourself off of mute. You guys are out touring a property and you see a news truck out there and it's Fox News. And they're doing a interview with local realtors in the area, asking them about the real estate market. And they come up to you and they say, Otis, they come up, say Dominique, they say Jacob Alley, they say Chris Edwards. Are you a realtor? Yeah, actually I am. Could we steal you for 5 minutes for a quick interview about the state of the real estate market right now? Would you be ready to have a quick interview with Fox News right now and go live with them? Please raise your hand if you feel like you could get on the mic right now, Fox News live or in studio, and talk about the market. Please raise your hand if you feel like you would answer yes to that interviewer asking you if you would want to be on the news right now. Please raise a hand or throw an emoji on the screen. What? No emojis, no hands? Okay, I saw one little thumb in the bottom right there. You're telling me nobody? Okay, Dominique, I was waiting for that. Otis, okay, cool. I'm seeing a few more, but and then Blessing, I saw yours. Thank you guys. Listen, that's the way that you have to think. I saw this the other day, and I wanted to share this with you. And this is from a couple that works for, I forgot, oh, it's the agency. So there's an article, and I'm going to drop the article down in the chat below so you guys can check this out on your own and go ahead and watch it and listen to it. And then here you go. All right, so can everybody see my screen? Michael Swanson, can you see my screen? Because I can see your face. All right, cool. So this is an article, California condos sell for lowest price at 18 years. Talks a little bit about the Bay Area market, but it also talks about markets like San Mateo, talks about markets that are in the peninsula that an average price point is around $2 million. So they interviewed this couple, and I don't believe that there was anything said that was really like, wow, that was profound. And so I wanted to play some of this for you because it goes directly in alignment with what we're going to talk about today, obviously the market. So let's go to 1 minute and 10 seconds, and I'll just play this for you, and then I'll wrap this all up.
Sir, how difficult is it with these prices soaring?
Can you guys hear?
It's very difficult, and there's some hesitation, but a lot of people are still able to do it. They're making the sacrifice. They're sacrificing some lifestyle to get into the home. The rates are higher than they would like, but they know that if they get in now, they're going to marry the property, they're going to date the rate, they're going to be able to refinance in the future.
And that's really the key here. You know, a lot of people are holding out, Mara, but getting into property, especially here in the Bay Area, is still an investment. It's still an investment that you can really depend on, essentially.
It is an investment that you can depend on. You know, a lot of people do either stretch, use their stock options, or have help from their parents in order to make a down payment. And a lot of people are using, you know, two-income families.
That's what we're seeing now, two-income families mostly affording these properties. Ryan, you said people are making sacrifices here. What other sacrifices are you seeing them making to get into these homes?
Maybe fewer vacations, cutting back on lifestyle a little bit in order to get into the home because, you know, the housing is more important to them for their long-term security than.
All right, so there's some good things in this interview, but the point is can you guys put yourself on camera right now in front of a news, you know, anchor or in front of an interviewer, talk about the market? What was something that you heard from this couple and how they were talking about the market? Anything that you guys heard, anything that you stood out and said, okay, that I could actually use that. Anybody hear anything that they would actually use in their flow? Let's go, Otis.
I mean, it's always good to say, you know, marry the house, date the rate. I mean, that was good. They put it out there, but I mean, I didn't feel like they were really like energetic enough, or like they came through like for me to really feel what they were saying. They were talking, but they weren't feeling anything. They weren't plugging. They weren't mentioning themselves. That would have been a perfect time to, like, you know, drop something for their firm, you know, their go-to lender. Well, yes, competitive ways, stuff like that. They weren't really being too informative. They were just on TV.
I felt like she was a little shook. The way that she was looking at him, she was a little nervous, and I can tell. And I think that marry the house and date the rate literally just came out, and I don't think that was planned. I feel like that is the most played out phrase in our game. The other thing that's played out is, oh, we need a pivot. Oh, fucking spare me. Like, what does that actually mean, right? What does that actually mean for a consumer? So the point is I want you guys to think about that at any given moment right now in the market. If someone stops you and says, hey, we're doing an interview about the real estate housing market. Are you a realtor? Yes. Wonderful. I'd like to get your opinion, right? Can you spit some fire, right? And I think like coming to sessions like this is where we practice, right? So if we do get that opportunity, we can spit some fire. Dominique, let's go to you. What's your thoughts, contributions? Let's hear from you.
I thought that it was actually good that they said people are making sacrifices, because what a lot of people fail to realize is that when you do want to put yourself in a situation, there has to be sacrifices. And I tell my family that all the time. They'll message me or call me and say, hey, I'm ready to buy a house. But like, I know them personally. So I'm like, so what are you going to sacrifice? And that's really what it's all about, because you can't think you're going to still do all the same things unless you're just making like hell money, which we know like it's just hard right now for anybody, especially like in the 30s. People in their 30s are still trying to make their career go. You can't just do it without sacrificing something. Like you can't go to Disneyland twice a year. Like that's just not going to work, right? I tell my brother that all the time. So I think that was a good point that he made. Like people are making sacrifices, and people have to realize that they really do have to.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I took out of that conversation. Like I would prefer to drive an absolute bucket or something that was 10, 15 years old to have home ownership for me and my family and to build off of that asset. I would prefer that, right? And you just got to think about small things like coffee. Well, I never pack my lunch, and so probably 4 days a week I'm eating out. Well, that's an average of $20 each day. So let's say you're spending $80 every single week. What does that actually look like for the month? And people don't realize, like, well, fuck, if I just really made some sacrifices on eating out, coffee, maybe we give up one vacation a year for the next couple of years just to get ourselves ahead. Like that's what people have to realize, that we're gonna have to give up something, especially in these higher price points, to gain the equity that we truly want for our family and to build the security. Listen, the date nights are important. The vacations are important. Those are always going to be important. However, the family might have to hunker down for the next couple months, next couple of years. And I think like when you're thinking long-term for the families, I think that's so important. So I'm really glad that you pointed that out. Anybody else have any takeaways or thoughts from what was said in that short clip of that interview? Okay, cool. So I'm going to go back to my screen here, you guys. I'm going to provide you guys with that. I already did. I provide you guys with this article. There was another article that I saw there, and it's this one here, and it is the Redfin blog. And if you're not following the Redfin blog, if you're not getting these updates, make sure that you're on here. What happens with this is that you'll find really, really good information about buying, selling, renting, home improvement, life and style. And I believe that if you're reading this information, you'll find really, really good articles that you can then jack and put into your video. So this is a really, really good report, and it lists 18 housing trends that define the year for last year. And you'll see a slew of different things, from record high prices, from San Francisco being the most expensive metro area for home buyers in 2023, and it lists other cities that we are obviously very close to. Now, obviously, these price points in some neighborhoods have gone down a little bit, particularly in Oakland. However, this is really, really good information. So I'm going to provide this as well for you. Take this article, read the article. Maybe it makes sense for you. Oh, I already did. Okay, cool. But these are two articles that I came across that I thought were really important to share. And I want to get into our slides for the morning. So what I want to do is I want to make this a little easier for you guys. And this is all about gaining an edge. When we talk about the market, I want you guys to think about not only, the market where you live, but maybe that's not the market that you want to serve. So why is your neighborhood, your farm, or your target market an amazing place to live? And this is all going to be a series of questions. So I'll just show you this so you have a heads up. So why is the neighborhood, farm, target market an amazing place to live? What are 3 highlights about this neighborhood, farm, or target market? Describe the lifestyle in this area, and then tell us about the market. So clear expectations for the road ahead as a consumer. So that's the series of questions that I want to take you guys through. And I feel like if we do this exercise, it's going to allow you to really, really describe and define, and also talk to us about the numbers and the data. So I need 3 people to get involved in this conversation. I don't want it to be our usual suspects. If you've never spoke on group coaching, I'm going to give you an opportunity right now to raise your hand and say, you know what, I'm going to take a crack at this. This is why I'm leading you in with easier questions versus the harder question about the market. So we're at group coaching. We're all about keeping and moving towards our dreams, goals, and vision, about playing here before we even get out on the field with our consumers. So I need 3 people in the queue. So I'm going to shut up for a minute. I need 3 people to raise their hand, throw up an emoji that are willing to take on this first question. Who's it going to be? All right, cool. So Christina, Michael, and I need 1 more person. Cool. Randy Poon. I love it. All right, let's go. So it'll be Christina, Michael Swanson, you'll be on deck, and then Randy Poon. So let me pull the questions up really quick. Christina, I'm going to go to you really quick. You pick the neighborhood, the farm, or the target market. You tell us why that's an amazing place to live, and let's go.
Okay, I am picking the Walnut Creek area. I think it's an amazing place to live because it's family friendly, you feel safe, and there's a lot of outdoor activities that you can do. So that's why I think it's amazing.
Beautiful. And keep cruising with me. So let's go a little bit further. When you talk about amazing things to do, what are 3 highlights about Walnut Creek that really stand out to you as somebody that knows that area, lives in that area, or has lived in that area?
Number 1 is the safety. Number 2 would be the parks, the outdoor space. And number 3 would be like the shopping, the food, just the fact that you can kind of bring your dogs everywhere. That community feeling is what to me would make it a great target market.
Beautiful. And I think that you just defined what lifestyle in this area feels like. And so what would be a typical Sunday morning if you lived in Walnut Creek?
It would be going to grab some brunch, maybe a donut, coffee. You have an array of coffee shops to try. There is just, what else was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Yeah, just walking outside with your kids, either if you have a stroller or with your pets. Everyone is very respectful. You don't get a lot of the like untrained dogs or, people that are just like loud and snappy. You can walk across the crosswalk without fearing someone's just going to run you over. So that was a lot.
Okay, cool. I like it. I like it. And take your best crack at this. I mean, you might not know the numbers, but tell us a little bit about the market. I want you to set some clear expectations for me, who has a family of 4, who's thinking about purchasing a home in Walnut Creek. I'd love to be in the Walnut Acres School District. So tell me a little bit about what to expect about the market.
I think the market is really hot right now. The prices of the homes are a little bit on the high side, but I think with the interest rate kind of shifting, we could definitely look at different programs and see if you're a first-time home buyer, what kind of grants we can get you. And just looking at the longer picture, you might have to sacrifice a little bit right now, but I think for your family and the school district, I think you would do a lot, and we could really get you into something that maybe isn't your forever home, but something to start off with. So the expectation for if it's your first time home, I would say maybe don't shoot for the big house, and let's get you into something small, just so your kids can get into those districts, and then later on we can talk about moving.
Wow. Is it going to be competitive there?
It is going to be very competitive. However, I think with me and with the team behind me, we can definitely get you into something that you're comfortable with, that will set you up for the next buy.
Wow. All right, guys, let's give her some love, some light. I love this. Christina, help the team understand, how long have you been actually on the team? How long have you been a practicing realtor?
Just maybe not even a month.
Not even a month. So I want to hear from some of you guys. Chris Barcenas, let's hear from you really quick. What were some things that you heard from her flow, from her dialogue, that really stood out for you as a veteran?
I like how she's very confident. She didn't stutter. She sounded prepared, intelligent, and like she knows what she's talking about. And if I were consulting with her, I would feel at ease that that I'm interviewing the right person. So you did a great job.
Love it, right? And Chris, as a father, did she articulate well of how safe it felt living in Walnut Creek?
Yes, I'm a dog person myself, so it's always great when you have neighborhoods like the neighborhood I live in. People are walking around friendly and their dogs are tame. And sometimes I go to other friends' neighborhoods and dogs be just coming at you and people don't smile. So just that saying that is a big deal for anybody that wants to move to Walnut Creek. And that just adds a little a little emotion to it, other than you're going to make equity and it's time to buy and prices are going to go up when rates go down and all that stuff that everybody's on repeat. You got to kind of you got to touch on other aspects where they see value in living there long term.
Yeah, this was a really good presentation, Christina. And I wrote here because this is how it felt. And I'm gonna give you kind of a sequence of words. What I pictured on a Sunday morning was waking up with my kids, grabbing a cup of coffee at some cool local spot because there's tons of them, walking around, waving at people because it's a friendly neighborhood. And then when I'm at the crosswalks, I feel like super, like I pictured myself doing it. And here's what we have to do is I want you guys to use this in your flow when you're talking with consumers. How would it feel? How would it feel knowing that less than a mile away, you could walk down to the Broadway Plaza, you can grab yourself a cup of coffee, you can go to some really cool shops, you can go to some places that are not commercial, that are locally owned, little cool mom and pop places to get a scone, to get a cup of coffee, walk around, do some shopping, and really be in a safe neighborhood. Like, how would that feel? Well, that would feel great. Or Imagine you're able to wake up on a Saturday morning and go to the Hat McGee Park, and there's all kinds of kids playing around. There's splash pads, and everyone's coming together, and all the moms and all the parents. You park your strollers, have some coffee, and everyone's coming together because Walnut Creek really, really embodies community. Imagine that, right? And so what you're doing is you're putting them in not only the lifestyle. So when it comes to competition, when it comes to going against everything that they're about to go against, they know that, hey, it's all worth it. Because we want to live. We want to have that cup of coffee with our family and our dog and walking across the cross. We want that. So you set a good expectation to know what's ahead. But all I'm thinking about is I know it's going to be competitive, but it sounds like you got me. It sounds like you got a great team behind you. I can't wait to be able to live in this neighborhood. So you guys, let's give her some love, some light, this positive energy. I thought that was fantastic. Let's go to somebody that's relatively newer. Darnell, I want to hear from you. What are some things that you heard from her flow?
Well, same as Chris said, I mean, she spoke really smooth. She sounded like she had prepared, even though I know you threw her on the spot. So I thought it was a great articulation of the neighborhood outside of talking about rates and like the house or price or anything like that. So
yeah, you guys, please raise your hand or just give me any type of emoji on the screen if that felt human. Just give me an emoji if that felt human. Emoji is located down below on the screen, or if you're on your phone, it's also down below. Go ahead and give me an emoji if that felt human. Super, super human. Christina, great job. And I'll come back to you in just a couple of minutes. So Michael Swanson, you are up next. I'm going to throw up the questions one more time. So it's all about gaining the edge. So why is the neighborhood farm target market an amazing place to live? Let's hear from you, bro. You get to pick the area.
All right, so I'm in Fairfield, so I'll go in my area. I think Fairfield is a great place to live. It's a very family-oriented city. Moves a little slower, but you're right. You're 30 to 45 minutes away from everything. So you're 30 to 45 minutes away from Sacramento, away from Napa, away from the Bay Area. So if you're raising, a family and you kind of don't want to be around the hustle and bustle of the fast city and don't want to deal with those fast city prices, you're right here in the middle of everything. We're also right on the Delta. So if you're like a boater or a fisherman, the water's right there. It's just a great, great city to live in.
I love it. I love it. And if you could just define that even a little bit further, let's talk about Fairfield specifically. What's 3 highlights about Fairfield that maybe I don't know about?
So, like I said, specifically the Delta. The Delta is great. If you go out there on like a Saturday morning, there's people out there in their boats, there's people out there fishing. I'm a water guy myself. I grew up fishing. So if you're like me, going out there on a Saturday is great. Right on the edge of Fairfield, you have Vacaville, you have the premium outlets out there. So if you'd like to do some shopping, you also have the mall in Fairfield. I prefer the outlets. So if you love to shop, you can go out there on a Saturday morning and shop till you drop, and you don't have to pay the top price name brand prices because it's the outlets and you get some good stuff. So
I love it. I love it. And we obviously just define a little bit of the lifestyle, but tell us about the market. I want you to set some clear expectations for me. I'm somebody that's moving from the Oakland area. I have 4 children. I want to be in a neighborhood that I feel like I can get a little bit more bang for my buck, and I don't mind the commute. So tell me a little bit about that market and set some clear expectations for me as your consumer.
You're definitely looking in the right place. The market is actually it's heating up a little bit right now. More homes are about 20% more homes are on the market right now than there was last month. But homes sales are down. Home sales are down 4%. So right around the pandemic 2021, it would seem like it was a big wave moving out here in Fairfield. It seemed like that slowed down a little bit. So there's a lot of opportunity to get in out here, and there's not much competition on there's not many multiple offer homes.
So let me ask you this, two questions here. Is there new developments in Fairfield?
There are new developments in Fairfield. There's actually a really good community, One Lake. It's not the community itself is a few years old, but they're adding more homes into it. There's also Trilogy. There's a few that built up about four. There's about 4 new home developments going on right now.
Nice. And Michael, is it going to be competitive? Because my friends that are looking over here in Oakland, they say that it's really, really competitive. So is it going to be super competitive?
There's a little bit of competition, but honestly, you're not getting anywhere near the competition that you're getting in Oakland and the East Bay. So you can get a little bit more bang for your buck out this way. The average home price is about in the mid 6s.
Okay.
And so you're looking really good, and there's not nearly as much competition as you're facing in the East Bay.
And then last question for you. Sorry, me and my wife have a lot of questions. What are the school districts like in Fairfield?
It's hit or miss, honestly. Depending on where you are in the area where these new builds are being built. If those are what you're looking at, then those are in great school districts.
Beautiful, beautiful. So great job. Let's go to some of our team members. Let's go to, let me see who I have here. Let's go Cynthia Jackson. Cynthia Jackson, tell me about Mike's tone. When you heard his tone, let's just go there, right? Like, what did his tone say about the knowledge of the area?
Well, his tone he spoke very confidently. His tone was, it was even, but it wasn't boring. And he definitely hit on, within his tone, his words and what he was saying, all of the inflection, everything was on point.
Yeah, like Michael, the tone of your voice, there's this bass in it, but there's this sense of like, wow, he knows what he's talking about. It was very, very smooth. And you said a line here that Fairfield moves a little slower. And what I really took from that part of the conversation is that it moves a little bit slower, but if you still want to make the drive out to the Bay, if you want to go up to Sacramento, or if you want to be even more chill, go over to Napa, you're right here in the heart, being able to get to all those places in a very short amount of time, but you get to come back to quiet, to a slower pace of life. I connected with that. And I used to live in Vacaville, so I kind of know that lifestyle. Let's go to Dominique. Dominique, what was something that you heard Michael say that stood out to you? We can get your thoughts and opinion on this.
He was very straightforward about the schools being a hit or miss. And that's really important to keep it really straightforward with the client. And I liked how he just was pretty much, there was no hesitation about anything he was saying. He knew what he was saying. He dropped numbers with the market, and it seemed very convincing.
Yeah, the 4%, like I don't feel like he just pulled that out. He knew that there was a decrease 4% year over year in sales. I thought that was really powerful. And so, yeah, and way to face it head on, Michael. Way to say, it is hit or miss, and it's hit or miss. Like for us, we live in a brand new building or a brand new community, and they're building schools here. So the schools are top rated, and that happens when you have new development. So I thought that was really, really strong. So let's give him some lights, some positive energy on the screen, and some emojis. Really good job, Michael. Michael, how did you feel?
I felt good. I've been doing my work, so I felt good. I was confident. So
yeah, and you know what? It shows. It shows. Like you're showing us your receipts right now. So great job. Well done. Let's go over to Randy Poon. Randy Poon, I'm going to bring up my screen one more time, and you get to kind of choose the area as well. So what is your neighborhood farm target market? Why, is your neighborhood farm target market an amazing place to live? Randy Poon, let's go to you.
I can choose Oakland, but can I choose a specific neighborhood?
Yeah, dude, please.
Okay.
Let's get as granular as possible. Let's go.
Okay, I'll go Old Oakland.
Love it. All right, man, the mic is yours. Let's flow.
Okay. So Old Oakland, so living here is actually, the walking score is amazing. I think we're around 90, 99 walking score. We're close to a food hall. We're about 2 blocks away from a BART transit, so you can get anywhere in the Bay Area, which is really nice. We're easily accessible to the freeway, the 880, the 580, 13. Everything's very within 2, maybe less than a mile radius. We're also close to the Alameda Tube, so you can cross over there as well. Again, there's so much diversity of food here. You can see a lot of people eating out for brunch. It's just a lot of, not a very crazy hustle and bustle, but it's pretty busy, pretty nice.
I love it. I love it. And when you say old Oakland, what does that mean? Does that mean historic buildings, turn of the century? Tell me a little bit about why you said old Oakland.
Yeah, so old Oakland, I never knew what it meant old as well, but definitely it's more the historic buildings. You see the offices above is more of the older, how to explain it?
What are those style homes called that were built at the turn of the century?
That is a question. I don't have that on top of my head.
It's okay. I know Dominique does, but keep flowing, bro. It's really good what you're saying.
So basically so now the next question, tell us about the market.
Yeah, tell us about the market, set some clear expectations about old Oakland. What are we up against?
Yeah. So right now, old Oakland right now, seeing the market, for single family homes, there has been competition with offers being overbid and multiple offers. If your family is looking to move here, I would suggest it's not gonna be forever home. And if it's something that you're not looking for 10 out of 10 and something 7 out of 10, I would suggest new build. So me and my partner, we moved into a condo, which we didn't really think about it at first. But what made it really easy decision for us is because everything was brand new. It came with a refrigerator, a washer dryer. Everything was all in our place already. So that made a less of a headache to deal with. School districts around here, it just varies where you want to look up, but we can investigate more of which one is better for your children. So that is something that we can look up. Yeah.
Now, Randy, I hear a lot of stuff. Obviously, I watch the news. Is it a safe place to live?
So there's pockets. In our neighborhood, it's a hit or miss. So again, there is some good days and there's some bad days. I don't want to say every day is a great day. Everywhere there is going to be some stuff happening, regardless where you are, Oakland, San Ramon, San Leandro, Redwood City. So I just want to set the expectations for you that.
Yeah, and I think that's all subjective, right? So, Mr. Consumer, that's very subjective based on your sensitivity. So what I would highly recommend that you do is let's go check out the house in the morning time, during the day. And then also I want you to come back at nighttime. I want you to see how it feels for you and for your family. For somebody like me, I don't care where it is. Like I grew up in the worst of the worst, so I can go to a place where this is not dangerous. And so I think it's really subjective depending on who the client is. But Randy, I love the description. I loved, this old Oakland. I loved the idea of going out and having brunches and sitting outdoor and, being in a tank top and hanging out and having an eggs Benedict. Like that's kind of the feel that I got from when you were talking, and I love that I stumped you, because when we think about old Oakland, we think about turn of the century, like craftsman style homes that have so much original charm and original, features and fixtures and wood carvings, right? But then you also showed them the other spectrum. You can also purchase something that is new and you don't have to worry about, damage or historic damage or sewer lines and things like that. So I believe as a consumer, you gave us some contrast. Hey, I'll show you both, right? You said you never wanted to live in a condo. It's okay, or a townhouse. I'm at least just going to show it to you so you guys have a sense of what's available. That we have some contrast. But I thought that was really, really good, Randy. Let's go to a couple of people and hear some feedback from you guys. Let's go over to, who do I have? Oh, she just put herself off. Stephanie, I would love to hear from you. And Chris Edwards, I'd love to hear from you. Stephanie, we'll come back to you. Your camera went off, but Chris Edwards, let's go to you.
I just like the fact that he put himself out there. Even though he didn't know, I see that in the chat, it was Victorian Homes. He still said he'll get back to you. He pretty much had an essence of the neighborhood he was talking about as far as like the BART, letting you know what's local as far as the transit and things like that. It was pretty strong.
Yeah, I felt like if I was a commuter being 580, 13, like I felt like I was close to everything. I didn't feel like I was far away. I think you did a really good job defining all of the freeways that were close by. Jacob Ali, what's something that you heard in Randy's presentation that stood out to you?
Basically the same thing. I mean, I felt like I got a good picture of like where I am, like the heart of the city, right in downtown, able to get anywhere if I'm commuting. Um, did a good job comparing. I mean, you can either live in a single family home that's older, or you could, if you rather be in a condo where you don't have to put as much effort into the home, you can do that as well.
Totally. Good stuff, man. Good contribution. So I'm going to come full circle. So Christina, I'm going to come back to you. You originally rose your hand, which I'm sure that when you rose your hand, there's this sense of nerves. We all get that, especially in platforms like this, but you did a really, really good job. What did you learn about yourself presenting in front of the group today?
I think it's just for me, especially knowing myself, like I do better when I'm under pressure. So I feel the only way that I can continue to practice those skills is to really just kind of go out there, even though, or I don't want to, like, I don't know everyone here, so it's not my comfort, but it's like I'm getting to know everyone and everyone's here to support me. So I think if I just throw myself in more, then I'll get more comfortable and just continue to, build those skills.
I so appreciate you saying this. Each of us need to look at what we're doing right now and how we are applying pressure to ourselves, right? This business is very difficult, but we have to walk into that fire sometimes and say, how can I apply pressure? So we have a leadership coach, and that person's been our coach for over 3 years. And every single time we get on the call, I know that she's going to pressure me for some very, very, hard answers. And so what I do is I write, I prep, I prepare, I have a bunch of screen tabs open. So when I get on that call, I know there's going to be pressure and I like walk into it. Who wants to go first? I'll go first, right? And so I appreciate you doing that because I think each of us need to apply even more pressure because that's when we're truly going to grow. So great stuff, Christina. Let's go, Cynthia. Cynthia, you had your hand up and I'll come to Randy. And Michael, you'll be last. I just want to get your camera on. Let's go, Cynthia.
So I just want to say I ran across this. I don't know if it was a TikTok or Instagram, but it was this guy who just gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He goes out for a run and then he states that, I don't do this shit because I love it. I do it because it makes me uncomfortable. And I think that's a great mindset to have as we prepare for all of the stuff that we have to do.
That's right. That's right. Because listen, you guys, it's not going to get harder than it is here. It's like if you could practice this and practice this and practice this, I promise you, when you talk to a consumer, it's going to feel fluid and it's going to feel more natural. So great stuff, Cynthia. I appreciate it. Randy, what's one thing that you learned about yourself by just presenting in front of the group today?
I would say critical thinking, and then definitely be putting on the spot. I feel like that's right now, especially, that it's really great to experience this, especially because when you go out with consumers, they're going to put you on the spot. And that's something you need to be. But I mean, again, if not, we don't know the answer to that. That's a great question, Mr. Consumer. Let me get back to you on that. And then you can always follow up with it. As I promised, here is the answer for this.
God, I absolutely love that. You guys, we're in an industry where critical thinking is at the utmost, emotional acuity is at the utmost, but also being able to be witty, right? Like in the moment, you're going to get thrown curveballs, and do you have the wit and do you have the dialogue for those conversations? And you're not always going to have the answer, and it's okay. And I think that you handled that very poetically. That's saying, I don't know that answer, but let me get that to you. And then as I follow it up, hey, Tom, just want to follow up as promised. Here's the answer to the question that you posed when we were on tour yesterday. Really good stuff, Randy. Dominique, you had your hand up, and then we'll come full circle to Michael Swanson. And then Blessing.
Yeah, Wednesdays are my favorite. I love Wednesdays. But this takes me back to, I've been focusing more on the Dublin market because I don't like marketing in my area, Danville. And so I've been doing a lot more research, and then, the new high school that came out, and then they're going to have another school come in 2026 that I'm going to do a video on, but like nobody really knows about. And so it just takes me back to what you were saying about getting put on the spot, and the amount of articles you come across if you just Google And if you just ask Google questions like Old Oakland, you Google it, come up, and it'll tell you all about it, right? And so just going back to Market Wednesdays being that when you have a specific market to focus on, it's more easier for you to just do all your research and just focus all on that and get all of information that you can. But then the other thing is I took a class yesterday on, so usually appraisers usually have different ways of doing things. And so I just took a class about time adjustments. And I thought it would be very fitting to include the team on how to do time adjustments with plot scatter maps. And so I know how to do it on my portal, but now I know how to do it showing agents because you all have Excel. So I just wanted to say that that also can be included in your market stuff too. And
Can you show us next Wednesday?
Yes, I will. I'm going to practice more on it. I just did it last night, and so if you tell me I got to do it Wednesday, I'm going to put my all.
You got to do it Wednesday.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do time adjustments with the.
I love it. I love it. And the outfit is as vibrant as your personality. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. All right, let's go, Blessing.
Hey, I missed a little bit of Randy's presentation, but I caught the end of it talking about, being on the spot and talking about like the crime and safety in an area, and being on the spot is what we do in life. It doesn't matter if we're with a consumer, we're on the spot when we're sitting there talking with friends. And even if we know the person, we never want to assume where they're coming from. So like giving them, and I dropped it in the chat, like giving them that encouragement to go into the area, not only to get a feel for the safety, but they want to live there. They want to be part of the community, and really encouraging them and giving them tips and things to do while they're there. That's just part of us being the advisors and consultants that we are. But coming full circle to speaking up in coaching and being on camera and being present, we might want to filter ourselves, or we might not be ready. But if a consumer asks us a question, or if your best friend wants to go do something, where you are is where you are. Like, you're either ready or you're not. And I think one of the things with my son and just where our family is right now, we just have to be ready. There's really not that much opportunity to get ready. You just have to do the preparation in the downtime so that when it comes up, because you will have the opportunity to talk about the market, to talk about what's going on in life, to be an encouragement or a support to someone in this, just constantly preparing yourself and using every opportunity to speak up. That way you hear yourself. And so the first time that you're having a conversation that's going to be, what makes the month's bills isn't the first time that you're saying it, so that you trip up. So definitely encourage everyone who hasn't had a chance to speak up on coaching, just turn your camera on, be present, put your hand up, and you'll be surprised how you're setting the tone for the day to welcome conversations from consumers. If you don't start now, you're just close the door. So raise your hand, get loud, let's go.
That's right. I love it. I love it. Let's go, Michael Swanson. Let's go full circle back to you, my man. What was one thing that you learned about yourself from presenting to the group today?
Real quick too, Dominique just said something about not touching on crime, and I almost said something about it being a low crime area when I was talking about Fairfield, but I backed away from that. So, but I think just being uncomfortable is crazy, because I'm always on Wednesdays. I love Wednesdays as well, but I never speak on Wednesdays. And I think for me, I don't know why, but I think it's more uncomfortable talking on here with you guys than it is talking one-on-one with the client. But it helps me, and so I think just getting on here and doing my thing, it just helps ground me. It helps keep me comfortable. It helps keep me, relaxed when I'm in those moments with clients.
That's right. That's right. You guys, my thought is that I want to keep you guys in the pocket. When you guys are with a consumer, I want you guys to feel like you're in the pocket, that you have rhythm. I used to have a boxing coach, and he would tell me, he's like, stay in the pocket, stay in the pocket. And that's why we do this, right? I want to provoke some thought, and I want to push you guys, and I want to make you uncomfortable on purpose. And I do this all by design. And so I appreciate you guys being here, being present, throwing your hands up. So thank you for all your contributions at a very high level today. Thank you, Jeff, for your contributions. Let's go to one person. Let's go, Morgan. We have less than a minute. So Morgan, let's get one key takeaway from our time together today. Let's hear from you. And your baby is super adorable. You can put her on camera anytime. Let's hear from you, Morgan.
One key takeaway is just don't be nervous and don't be afraid, because that's one thing for me is I know I'm always nervous to speak up, and I think I know more than what or I know more than what I think I know.
Yeah, I
So
absolutely do. And your voice your voice needs to be heard. People need to hear you. And when you think about like referral opportunities, right? I think about this. I'm going to want to refer business out to somebody that I've heard that knows how to explain the market at a very high level. So if I'm looking for a partner agent, who am I going to go to? Oh, I'm going to Randy. He knows about that old part of Oakland and he spits some fire. I feel comfortable with partnering with him on a deal. Right. And so like your voice is not only for your consumers here, but it's for your brothers and sisters that may want to link up with you for partnerships in the future. Right. 35% of all of our deals last year, if you're on the team, came from partnership deals. So think about that as well. Not only is this for your consumers and for your practice, but it's for your brothers and sisters to be like, damn, if I got somebody in Dublin, I know who I'm calling. So good stuff, Morgan. I appreciate you guys. Listen, it is 9:30. Thank you guys for all of your contributions today at a very high level. I appreciate you guys more than you will ever know. Congratulations once again at being the #1 team for all of units in the state of California last year. The reel is now available on my social. Feel free to take that, share that, put that in your correspondence, use the Real Trends report, but continue to build the gospel of this amazing company and what you guys have been able to create. So as always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision. Have an amazing, amazing week. Peace.